Okay. We have made it. Big sigh. It has been a whole ass week until since the
Been
last
a whole ass.
It's been a whole ass. Well, actually, I guess for some of you it's been a week. For others, for myself, for Rhett to know, it's been what, yesterday? For me, it was Friday. It's just our life on the internet. It's just what we do.
And for our characters, likely no time has passed.
None. Literally none. The joys of playing TTRPGs, where all the time passes and no time passes all at the same time.
Yeah, we're still on what, night 2 of Vampire?
Something like that. Speaking of which, tomorrow night, more Vampire. We're hoping
Nice
we get
segue.
to night 3 finally. If we're going by
I believe in us.
start date that we picked for this, it's going to be August 2nd.
Woo!
By the time the session ends, hopefully.
Nice. That is.
Assuming, of course, there is not another fiery crash that may or may not take place in the current session, in which case things may go off the track.
Hey, if we're past midnight, technically we've made it to the 2nd.
It doesn't count until you've gone to sleep.
No, you've
Whatever.
not spiritually made it to the second.
Also, I don't know what you're referring to with second fiery crash because I didn't burn the car.
That's what you think.
No, you just burned the bridges.
Yeah.
Sonder! We miss you.
There's a Sonder.
There's
Well,
Sonder, hooray!
We love you, Sonder.
Yeah. Much love, much wow.
I miss
Such
that guy.
such wow, much wow. Such love. I don't
All the
know.
wow.
Whatever. All the wow,
Much,
such
much
love.
Sonder.
Yes. So tomorrow, Vampire, thank you all for hanging out with us last Friday as we went through another episode of the Twin Company, with more shenanigans from Alkura Sai. I said Sai this time, not Scott. Wait, yeah, no, Sai, because I keep calling him Skylar and it's not Skylar.
Well, it's Cycler, so it's pretty close.
It's close.
Wasn't Skylar the blonde, angry wife of Walter White?
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm thinking about heroes.
I mean,
Yeah,
I would
Cyler.
say
Tyler, yeah.
justifiably angry
yeah,
wife. of
She had
Walter
good
White.
reason to be kind of cheesed at him. The whole.
Kind of cheese.
Well, I don't want to spoil it.
Save it for the
I'll let you know now.
Inquirer.
There was meth. I'm just gonna say it may have been involved.
What was I gonna say? Yes. So looking forward to more Star Wars. Hopefully, we can get into a role of this happening once a month. Love. Thank you, Martel, for jumping in there as Aken. That was truly marvelous. The jokes were great. Let's see. Announcement wise, otherwise, prepare for October. It is upon us. Oh my God.
We're in Spooktember at the moment, so we're kind of partly there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's just wild that it's like around the corner is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
No, but for real, where did September go?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm glad someone didn't wake me up.
Slept right
Hey!
through
Well,
it.
it's not over yet.
This
Yeah, though speaking of dates and things, there is a very important date that we neglected to mention.
Phoebe and Themisto
last
are finally
week.
going to get to go on a date?
Maybe, but no. In fact, I'm talking about Phoebe's player's birthday, which did happen very
Ah.
recently. So just want to express our love. Happy birthday, Phoebe.
Happy birthday.
happy birthday from all of us to you. We wish it was our birthday so we can party too. Hey.
Hey,
Yeah. We're not allowed to party because it's not our birthday.
You know, I heard an interesting thing about all of those alternative birthday songs. It's because the actual happy birthday song was held by some group that claimed that they had the copyright to it. So
Mhm.
just
It's
some
the
group
same
that
people-
owns the mouse.
It's the same people that own Strawberry Shortcake.
amazing.
Wow.
But in
the franchise?
2015 or something, it became
Mhm.
free to not do that anymore. So that's why we could sing happy birthday now.
It's now legal to sing happy birthday.
Without paying for it.
But not in
Hoorah.
every country.
Fair. I think that takes care of all of our announcements. So we shall go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of Age of Myth. Wah!
Okay. Laertes is just going to have a dissertation on orbital mechanics, and they can blow it out their ass.
Sparta, 1005 after the fall, when the sun returned and the world darkened. In that moment, as the sun relit the fire burning like embers given new kindle, a rebirth and death happening at once. I found myself in the middle of finally acquiring a decent libation worthy of my ancestors. God rest their scaly souls. An exclamation of joy, a cheer that spread across the city as all those bathed in the sun's warm rays cried out at once. Though we had felt its heat since it's diminished, the added light seemed to remind us of its presence. It was also a reminder that humanity truly is the most forgetful of species in this world. How long a thing exists to them only as long as they perceive it before them. I knew then, as I finished the last of my extract, that things would begin to move as Orsut had spoken. Themisto, the oracle to be, had spoken with King Menandros, setting his heart and mind towards trying to mend the divide that was forming beneath the feet of Sparta. She learned by words spoken by swift Hermes that both kings had not been speaking whole truths to her, that they had been testing her to see if she truly showed she would have what it took to truly be a guide of nations and peoples. As part of this test, they had asked that she question the dark prophet Orcus and one of his followers, Ilsoa the Mad. They learned little with his circular words, little except that they believed without a certainty that they were doing their countrymen a favor, even if it was a flavor of their countrymen. The kings then were put under the sway of the rod of Hermes, rooted to the ground. Hermes had Themisto ask questions and even make threats worthy of the god of fear himself, but they were not swayed in time. And at the word of the messenger of the gods, the kings were made aware of none of it, having their memories rewritten to a truth of his choosing. Truly, the power of those we call gods goes further and darker than imagined before, if they so wished it. Hermes declared that the kings were to unitedly decide that the prisoners were to be taken to the foot of Mount Olympus, where, in the temples of Heracleum, they were to be cleansed, whatever that may mean. The kings, returning to their minds once again, decreed it to be so, and said that before the light fade from the city again for the night, that the Pythia and her entourage return to the palace for a dinner in their honor, as a thanks to their work in freeing the city from the cult's grip. As the day progressed, I learned that my companions had returned to the weaver's house, resting from the day's labors. Laertes to his sciences, Themisto and that half-wax satyr Aretino, discovering perhaps a heritage shared. I myself would never stain the scales of my kind with his like. Phoebe to a prayer at the feet of her patron, Apollo, in which her journey to this temple she would meet an old and odd woman who could not keep fruit in her basket. And Cyprus, an unexpected gift and words of encouragement from a friend, giving to him a blessing of his goddess. It was during these events that the sky broke in brilliant shine, and though I relished it, the extract made my senses sizzle, and I had to shy away from the bright light. Time to return, as what happened next I would wish to see with my own eyes. Okay.
Love her recaps.
I'm mostly just upset she hasn't been doing recaps the entire campaign. You need to go back and refilm them.
Or just do them all over again, and we'll make a recap for each one. And I'll just write them all down, and we'll just have a little pamphlet booklet thingy, and it'll just be the stories of the Age of Myth in her point of view.
That'd be really cool, actually.
I'll have to make a note of it.
Brief side note, I've been watching so much chaos. For a second, I forgot that our Hera is different and maybe a little bit nicer, because the Chaos Hera is a waspy nightmare.
That's
Just
why I
Hera.
like it.
Don't trust the old ladies.
Never
It's like
knew.
Claire Underwood, but with actual power.
For a museum. Listen, you punk ass bitch. That's all I gotta say.
Well, if you tune in tomorrow, there will be a different DM.
Also true. Also true. Okay. Let me see here. Wow. Okay. Put all of these things everywhere. Last we had left off, you guys had just gathered together once again in the front of the House of the Weaver, as the sun shone its brilliance across the city of Sparta. Like a cloudy day, like a week's worth of cloudy days that have now suddenly departed to let the sun shine through. There is that feeling of excitement. And as Maal has said, even though even though the heat was there of the sun in full, the light of it had diminished so. So now that you see the bright blue sky and the bright sun that you can no longer behold, what are you guys doing?
So, Themisto, who in this weaver's courtyard have been kneeling like in awestruck reverence and hopefulness at the return of the sun, she sees Phoebe come back in tearfully, and she'll rise with a slightly furrowed brow, and she'll hurry over to her like not running, but a quick walk, approaching her closely. And the Misto snakes are gonna look intently, their heads tilting this way and that, their tongues flitting, trying to understand what's wrong. And she'll brush tears away from Phoebe's cheek with her thumb. What are these rain clouds, my rising sun? Look above us. As you return to us, so does the color to the world.
I met someone on my walk to the temples. I'm so confused.
Who did you meet?
I think I might have met Hera.
After her priestess in the temple gave us a rough but conciliatory goodbye so many days ago.
It's just one of the reasons why I'm so confused.
She'll rub your shoulder.
Before I understood who she could have been, she was just a woman who said I reminded her of her sister from Corinthos.
Do you think there is more to it than this?
I don't know. DM, is Uruk out here?
Urut is not. No.
Uruk.
Yeah. Ursut.
Uruk, sorry.
Ursut.
There's
No,
so
no.
many letters. There's so many letters here.
I know. Ursut. I was like, Urut? My brain went Lord of the Rings. I was like, Uruk? What?
That's why I said that. We watched Rings of Power last night.
Yeah. Ursut. Yeah, she comes out there like a white face. White.
I can't even roll
I
my
mean,
R's
she
enough
did
to say Mordor the right way.
leave, so be more like
Mordor.
bye.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Say her name one more time.
Ursut.
Ursut.
Usurt.
Heisenberg.
Wait, what?
Aaron just took
you've
his
said
keyboard
it
into a
in two
blender.
different ways.
And then pull out a couple letters.
Just shaking up that Scrabble bag.
She, before I left, she told me to. What is this stuff? Watch for the apples. And it was that woman who spilled apples out of her basket on the way to the temple herself. I don't know what any of it is supposed to mean.
She'll take your hand and bring it up between the two of them. We can find out together then. After we rest, I will ask Hera herself.
Yes, as I stepped away from Apollo's feet, the sun came back.
It is a wonderful thing, isn't it? And she will turn to all of our allies here in the courtyard.
Last I left off, I believe Aretino and Laertes were sharing a bit of a concerned look that something about this wasn't quite lining up. And he's not creating any kind of projections or anything like that with his hands, but you do sort of see him doing a little bit of air math. Trying to figure something in his head. And he looks over to Aretino. She said that the source of all this was a creature below. At least that was the hint, right?
Yes, I believe so.
And since I'm not keen on calling her false, either it tripped over a rock and died, or it's not here anymore.
What? It could be hiding without its handlers.
Mm.
But either way, yay.
Not-
But why?
And we don't necessarily know that it is a creature. Think of Mighty Atlas and what he turned out to be.
Possibly. Either way, we still need to know.
You think it's possible that the darkness has simply up and left rather than being dispersed?
I think we need to find out one way or the other.
Although I am leaning that way. If I had to guess.
Is there anything else we need to do here? I know there is still the pit that we were very hesitant about before.
I would think we need to take a needed rest and then venture down there to see what's what.
I think
And
that
the
would be the
Kings
best call.
did request our presence as well.
The dinner.
Perhaps we could fetch Maal.
I
Which-
wouldn't want her to miss this.
Which, as you are saying this, the crowds magically part like some really cheesy movie, and you see Maal just like walking down the street with a goblet still in her hand, and she just like holds it close to her chest and occasionally like takes another sip.
Oh no, she's day drunk.
Girls, what are you talking about? I'm fine.
Oh no, she's secretly a woo girl.
Starts spilling Pinot Grigio everywhere. No, as she like walks up, she just kind of does the little clawed fingered like wave, and then gets over to you. I see that you have all gathered together again. How fortuitous for me. Where have you been the last day, leaving me to my own devices? I blame this
Like
on you. She looks over at the retinue, like just like she's talking to you guys, and then her head kind of snakily goes towards
Aw.
a retinue.
Oh, is she doing the drunk thing where she can't turn just her head or her eyes? She has to turn her
Oh.
whole torso.
No, she can. She's still moving like normal. It's just the head seems to extend a little bit as she like
Mm.
glares at a retinue.
So, Maal, I'm flattered. I would have thought here that having to spend an entire day in my presence would have been torturous for you.
It would have, but there's four companions that I enjoy. That clearly outnumbers the one that I do not.
Oh, she likes us.
I feel like if Phoebe wasn't so sad, she would move really quick to see if she could like trick Maul into thinking how many people there are.
Don't move, please.
Technically, I
Five
can cast
companions.
haste on her.
You
No,
jerk.
she's too sad for that right now.
But
she thought about it.
I would have thought spending more time by yourself working on your documents would have been to your liking.
Wait, say that again.
I
was
would
like,
have thought a day to yourself
Oh.
working on your documents would have been to your liking.
well, yes, but I still like to witness history in the making versus hearing from it secondhand from a child.
I think the child probably sees more than the rest of us combined if we're thinking the same one.
Of that I can agree.
I would like to speak to that child again.
Careful what you wish for. Sometimes it just gives you a headache.
That might be the wine.
No, that is just my eyes coming out of my skull. The headache, I'm sure, will follow. And as she's talking and kind of waving her cup around a little bit, you don't know why she decided to drink paint thinner. But man, are all of your eyes like you can get just the little whiff that kind of comes across is like enough to make your nose hairs like recede into your cranium. Provided you have nose hairs.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Speaking of history, Themisto, I believe there was an invitation extended.
That is right. If you wish a chance to record in person what it is like to dine with the kings of Sparta, we have been invited this evening.
Oh.
They are gladdened by what we have done here and wish to repay what we put an end to.
I'm sure they have. She looks for a second like she has receded into her mind and just kind of like thinking about things. You can see her eyes kind of doing the 1,000-yard stare and like twitching as she just seems to consider, then comes to again. Of course, I would love to join. If the invitation is to include a humble historian like myself.
I'm honestly surprised that you've missed what's happened in the last day or so. You asked where we were. Where were you?
She points to the Weaver's house. Playing hopscotch and jacks with a child tormentor. What do you think I was doing? You left
Indoor
me in...
hopscotch?
The ways of the Kemetrians is a mystery. And just because I am old doesn't mean that I cannot still whoop ass on a little hopping from stone to stone.
Didn't think of it.
Of course not.
This sun is going to take the water right out of us. Everybody drink up.
I will
It's
probably...
too bright. It's too hot.
I will probably...
How do we dim this thing?
I will probably need at least a gallon or two before the day is out.
Hopefully the kings have
Drink a gallon
refreshments.
or two. Well,
I'm
Sorry.
sure.
Oliver Twist.
Beautiful, beautiful. Truly unhinged we are. I love it. What was I gonna say?
Please, sir, may I have another? What?
What?
I want to say that from a distance, you hear the sound of trumpets. Oh, that is truly atrocious. I will not be pressing that button again. Anyway,
Still going?
Kings are like,
it
have
keeps
those
going. I was
men
like,
killed.
execution. I was just thinking of like trumpets, like, but that was a lot.
And then it
So-
went into a full-on jazz
Yeah.
song. What the
Melt
hell?
their
3
trumpets
hours
into a
of
liquid and
trumpets.
pour it over their bodies to kill
It's just
them.
Dionysus
Think
just having a
that's
great time on like a wall somewhere.
The Spartan bugler just jamming out.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's just it's before they've invented the trumpet, so it's just a whole congregation of vuvuzelas.
Someone in the crowd goes, "Play Freebird!"
Yeah. But you hear you hear in the distance the trumpet going off. It's probably at least 5 or 6 streets away, and you hear some crowds cheering. And you see Ma'al turn in that direction and sigh. Just as she said. Do you wish to go and see?
Is it?
Laertes is gonna start staggering in that direction.
Events playing out as the Little Terror had said it would. Come with me.
Did the little terror specify how many more events are going to transpire today? And Cypress like wearily start to follow Laertes.
Ma'al will stop, put a hand on your shoulder, and just stare at your eyes. Yes. She did. And she'll turn and just keep walking.
Ooh.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh, ominous.
Okay. Let me see what I'm going to play next. We'll go with, as you guys are making your way through the
Downtown.
streets. Yes. You go, and as you're approaching, you realize you're walking towards one of the larger avenues. Themisto, what were you gonna say?
I just have one little more sappy thing
Sure.
to do. As we're leaving, Themisto's gonna hang back slightly with Phoebe, and since they're already leaning close to one another, she's gonna say, whatever priorities you and me can face it head on. Segapo, Phoebe. I love you.
Hold on, me's Dreamy just has to melt for a second before I can reply as Phoebe.
And she's gonna give you a kiss.
Phoebe will kiss her back. I love you, my mister. Whatever happens, we face it together.
And now come, my son.
As you approach the source of the ruckus that is slowly gaining in volume, you see that there are many more people that are also going towards the main avenue, the one avenue that leads through the Hobgoblin Quarter and back to up towards the palatial estate of the fortress. As you approach, or are starting to approach, you can kind of hear the sound of marching and crowds cheering as you all get closer and closer, and it looks like there is like a parade that is happening. There are people that are throwing flowers and like kerchiefs and all this kind of stuff into the street. As you can see, there is a procession of Spartan soldiers that you have just arrived. You hear once again a really loud blast of fanfare, and that's it. No more. And as they are walking along, and the more people cheer, you have to kind of shovel your way through this crowd that has now formed here in the area. And as you do, I'd like everybody to make perception checks, please.
A 17.
21.
Nice.
18.
Come on, you do a thing. Ooh, finally, 24.
And the crowd goes wild.
Beautiful.
Oh, I hear more trumpets than everyone else.
You guys see, I'm gonna start turning this down a little bit. You guys see that as the soldiers are passing, there is a large, some of them are bearing a creature that is trussed up and hanging, imagine the largest lion. A large leonin-like figure, now stretched out, easily 8, almost 9 feet in length, from head to tail, as it is being carried by at least 8 men that have now had this large pole that looks like it is now bending inwards with the weight of this creature. You see that the creature, the only reason you know that it is lion-like is by the body, the head having been removed. In front of this procession, 2 soldiers carry in their hands, grabbing it by mane and ear, a beast that looks unlike anything you have ever seen. Devoid of the normal 2 sets of eyes, it in its place has hold on. I have to get back to you.
Loud eyes.
Yeah, it has the mane of like a lion. It has this long black hair that flows from all the way around its face, but it has no mouth. In place of its face, you see 5 round black orbs, like the size of, well, we're just gonna use mangoes because you guys have found mangoes recently on the island. What about that size? Like a pretty decently sized citrus, but black, pitless. Like it's almost looking. It would almost look like a fly's eyes if it weren't for the fact that it wasn't segmented in such a way. It is just a smooth orb of black. Where at first you thought they were grabbing it by their ears, you realize that it is not ears, but almost like 5 leaf-like fronds that stick from either side of its head, 1 on top, 2 on the side, and 2 down below. As the soldiers are grabbing, and it's a large head. Like this thing looks like it would be able to take a sizable chunk out of a person if it had a normal gaping maw, but instead you just see this forward face with the 5 orbs. And you see the human procession of Spartan soldiers as they lead the way through the city. You can hear the shouts of the soldiers. Praise to the Spartans! Praise to the Spartans for the honor of Ares! Like the shouts going out across the crowd as they see these men dragging this body up to the palace itself. As they pass, the crowd again, and I'm just not playing it because it's just distracting, but they continue to cheer the whole time. It's just a loud ruckus of cheering and clamoring. And then as they pass, you can see there is like at the end of a parade, you know, when the crowd kind of follows along, is like a lot of the crowd kind of just pushes behind, following, and leaving those who are now talking amongst themselves. Oh, did you see that the creature that they have discovered? Do you think it was the cause of like the deaths in the hill countries? Like it just, you hear the rumors are spreading fast and rampant across the city. You see Ma'at look at the ground, and where the people had passed, there is like these little droplets of what look like blackened ooze blood that just make a trail down the path that it had come. Laertes, what were we gonna say?
Given what we've seen about these presumptive plague-based creatures, basically being self-cleaning monsters where they evaporate rather rapidly after they've been killed, is that happening here?
Doesn't seem like it.
There
is...
Brain's going back to Beast of Gewalden, but alright.
There is a level of like recall in the creatures you have fought that have been plague touched, that it has there are similar aspects of it. The black leatheriness of the face set between around the eyes. The fact that its face is also misshapen, like a lot of the beasts that you have faced before, but this being the reverse of the fact where normally the creatures like the fragments have had large toothy maws and no eyes until they suddenly do. This seemed to have the reverse of that, where it had no mouth and just these large orb-like eyes.
What do you know?
The girl said that there would be a time when trumpets would precede a creature unlike anything we have ever seen. And that trumpets would herald the change for Sparta to come.
Change does not have to be a bad thing.
No. No, I suppose you are right. It does not.
And if this beast was indeed slain by the phalanx, and not us, it could buoy the hearts of the Spartan people to know that they are capable of doing such a thing. Should worse come to face Sparta again, and we are not around.
She just goes and takes a couple of steps and crouches down at this like trail of blood. It almost looks like when a car is like leaking a massive amount of oil and it just, the car pulls away and you see all the little blackened spots where it's just the grease has landed. It's kind of like that. It's just this long line. But Laertes, what are you gonna say?
I was actually going to. I assume I have some kind of little glass vial stuff with my tinker tools in my bag that I could have scooped some of that up with.
Sure. Why not?
Little Kindred move.
I know, that's literally what I was thinking.
It's almost as if I play a professional scientist or something. He's taking samples. But no, the main thing I wanted to ask is, are these Spartans human or hobgoblin?
What was your perception check?
24.
They were all human.
Mm.
There were hobgoblins that were following behind them, but it seemed like the majority of them were human.
What about with a perception check of 2?
They were Spartans.
And even that, you're not sure.
The sun
What
was really
are those things?
the sun was
That's the
really
only thing.
The sun's so bright, I can't see.
it was really shiny, reflecting off of their shiny helmets and armor that you realized you were still wearing the same. Mal turns to you all. It would seem that perhaps our dinner plans might have become more of a celebration than we had anticipated.
How close is it to dinner time?
At this point in the day, you've probably got about like an hour or two. Although now with the sun lowering, you're looking at it's probably like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. So, or 4 or 5. I guess we'll say 4 or 5. So
I would like to speak to Ursula more time before dinner, if we can.
We didn't have to go far to see this procession. I'm sure she can spare it.
yeah, you're like 6 streets over, if that. So it's not too hard. All right, you guys leave. Okay, you guys head back to the home of the Weavers, dipping below the staircase in the back. You see the girl's father, like hearing that that people were coming in, was just in the way making his way up the stairs, sees you all. Welcome back. It is good to see your faces once again. Everything okay? You're like looking at the pensive looks that you all have.
Is your daughter still here?
Yes, she is in her room. Is everything all right?
Yes, I just have a few questions. I don't know if she can answer them or not, but it appears I need a speaker's wisdom, seer's wisdom.
Oftentimes, it is not a matter of whether she can answer or not, it's if she will or not. Of course.
And Phoebe, still holding on to the mistress hand, will walk that way.
You go into. Well, let me switch this up a little bit.
The Mister would like to ask as we are walking.
Mhm.
What do you hope to know?
I don't know. I thought I'd accept it, never knowing about my family. Even after what we learned from the children of Dreamy's brain cannot remember the name of Apollo's child.
Asclepius?
Yes. Pretend I said that. Look, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
That maybe I just general Orphic abilities, and that was all I would never know. That conversation shook me, and I don't know what I hope it to be. It was just so unexpected.
It is because she said you remind her of your sister, or her sister, rather.
Even that, but then to learn that it might have been Hera. Why would she say that? Why would she say that to me? I was awful at her temple.
The gods are hard to know. But I will say this. Olympian, Corinthian. I still love you very much, no matter how this turns out. So, let's go and see if she knows.
Baby's gonna initiate the kiss this time before knocking on Lucer's door.
There, as you like knock on the wood panel on the side of the open door frame that is, it leads into this room because it's more of like bead and
It's still polite to knock.
No, I know. It's just like it's bead and like silks basically. So you hear her voice come from inside. You may come in, Phoebe.
Thank you.
The Mister will hesitate a moment. You can feel her tug a little. Usart, may I enter as well? Or do you wish only to see Phoebe?
That is for Phoebe to decide.
Baby will pull you in.
You see that the young Aarakocra girl is sitting in her bed. Her wings kind of circled down and around her a little bit, kind of stretched out. In her hands, she has a little doll made of cloth that is like tied together. Her head looking down at the doll, these pure white eyes. She doesn't look up at you as you enter. You come with a heavy heart, PP. What troubles you so?
The woman with the apples.
You found her?
Yes.
Brisea is a very nice lady.
Is she Brisea?
Is she?
Does she go by another name?
Probably to her children. Did she say something to you?
She said that reminded her of someone.
A good thing, I hope.
I looked like her sister.
Did she speak fondly of her sister?
She did.
So sounds like a good memory. Yet that is not what you mean to ask.
I've never known a sister, brother, or mother, or father.
Were you not raised in the temples of Apollo?
He was my brother, yes, but there's a temple of orphans.
But they have priests and priestesses, do they not? Do they not care for you like father and mother, brothers and sisters?
They did. But there is a question that every child at the temple asks themselves. Many of us learn to try to let it go, but it still nags at the back of your heart. Hunger that can never be satisfied.
You wish to know where you came from?
Yes. I thought I'd come to peace with ever knowing. But the words she spoke was like pouring water on the lips of someone who has been in the desert for so long they did not even know they were there.
The edges of her beak kind of twist up in a smile. Sometimes it is this thirst for knowledge that drives people insane. Sometimes it is not knowing that you have that thirst for knowledge that keeps one sane. Do you not fear the answer? You do.
Don't know. I've been given warnings about my powers, but I don't understand any of it.
The power that we have. Sometimes it comes from powerful blood. Lines of ancients. But sometimes it lies dormant. The gods know this. They've experienced it firsthand. Ask Ares. I would worry less about where I came from and more where I am going. Your past will be revealed to you. There are things are set in motion. The true question will be when you find the answers, or when the answers find you, how will you react? Will it change you? Will it change who you are, knowing the truth of things? No longer Phoebe, or always having been Phoebe. Your powers are yours. The sun that burns brightly inside you is yours. No one else's. Perhaps this is the day that the name starts for the line of Phoebe. Perhaps you are to become the name that others wish to claim for their own. Hold on to the embers of your happiness. There is much that is coming. You will find great joy soon.
And she says that Phoebe will turn and look at the Misto.
The Mister will smile.
But not before you find great heartache. It will be your test. Each of you will have one before the day is won. If it is to be won. A herald comes. You hear the bells of the door from up top at the shop ring. Cypress, Laertes, Oretano, and Maal, as you guys have been sitting in the lounge area here in the Weaver's Den. You see Mr. Weaver go up the stairs to see who has come into his building.
I like to imagine that the noise, since it's bells, but they're Aarakocra from Kemet, that it's like almost like a wind chime sort of sound rather than like a shop bell.
Nice. He comes to the staircase and then calls down. A messenger has arrived from the kings of Sparta. Do you wish me to accept the message in your behalf?
Talking to the
The
four of us
room
downstairs.
Yeah.
The room. Okay.
I should probably go see about that.
All right, now you go up the stairs.
Wonder if we're late for dinner.
Go up the stairs, and you see a smartly dressed, what looks like maybe a servant of the palace. A lot nicer robes, a bronze circlet. This young man, human man, stands tall as you approach. I'm here to present a message to the Pythia to be and her entourage.
The Pythia to be is otherwise occupied at the moment, but as a member of her entourage, I'll be happy to accept the message.
King Menandros wishes to inform the Pythia to be and her entourage that they are still expected tonight at dinner, but that there will be a celebration as the sun has returned. So to expect a long night.
Understood.
That is
Cypress tries to imperceptibly just just kind of sigh.
Is there any messages that you wish me to relay to the kings?
We will be in full attendance and are extremely grateful for their invitation and are looking forward to it.
He bows and beautiful. Thank you, Zemisto, for that. Goes and leaves. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna go downstairs and sit. Well, we were right. There is a party tonight. Everybody get ready to stay up late. King's orders.
These kings enjoy taking up a lot of our time.
The sun is back.
I hope this would afford us a chance to examine the creature. Beyond
Yes.
that,
It would be unreasonable to request.
Oh, are we back in the main crew?
Yeah.
I was assuming
Yeah.
that, like, yeah,
Okay.
we all.
Okay. Yes. I think that would be a good thing to do. And it is important for us to have moments of respite. And we have a follower of Dionysius of some regard right here with us. So I think attending such a celebration could probably be a nice thing. Huh?
I suppose.
Well, if we're to attend the party at the palace, it seems fitting we dress the part. And Phoebe, who is in the glamour weave, it's going to shift and become a very formal style chiton, but it's going to be very gold, as if it's like woven with a golden thread.
Very nice.
The Misto will try to mirror Phoebe's with her glamour weave, but like almost like a reverse of the coloration, like a negative, and have a lot of like Apollonian like sun emblazoned on it, in a fun pattern.
Nice.
I don't really have.
The party priestess has arrived.
I think with Phoebe's golden dress and the way that her powers always seem to kind of like make her hair glow, she is truly looking the part of this sunbeam right now.
Standing behind Themisto going. I don't really have formal attire. I'm in military attire, like
Yeah.
all the time.
That
I
seems
could-
pretty formal in Sparta. You are in Spartan armor right now.
Yes,
We'll
I
fit right
wanted-
in, I'm sure.
but on the party floor or like outside, make on guard.
Yes.
Both,
I don't
yeah.
know, Davos Santis. When you gentlemen get involved in these festivities, how do you dress?
You dress for festivities?
Yeah,
Well,
so there you go.
honestly, that's one of the few things I've been able to relate to so far.
I'm just going to reach over and wave a hand to static clean all of Cypress's attire that's been blasted and slashed at and
Oh, it is
dunked
covered in soot
fountain.
from the
Yes.
explosion.
So I'm just making it pristine and gleaming.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I'm
Figured I
still
would
going to
save you
clean it at
time.
the end of the night, but no hard feelings. Thank you.
Well, I tried to do something nice.
No, it's appreciated. It means I don't need to spend an hour beforehand.
Aaron, I don't remember, did I get any of the sweet, sweet glamour weave, or did they get all taken up by everybody else?
There wasn't enough for the full party. I didn't keep any, but I think there were at least 3.
I don't
Oh,
remember.
does Astrid have the other one?
I don't
Maybe.
remember. Honestly, I
We
do
need
not
our
remember.
Star
we
Child
are
back.
we are in a shop full of very nice fabrics.
Also
so I'm just
true.
saying.
I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
will say that the
if we need an out like a getting dressed montage, this
Yeah.
is the
Oh my god,
place.
I would love to get some accessories for the glamour weave from
It's
our
just
weaver
armor.
host.
Is Mr. Weaver pissed off that we're just making sweet ass outfits in his house where he's just going full John Travolta? Just
yeah. Just like,
I've got a friggin' awesome new shawl that matches my girlfriend's skills.
oh my gosh, where's those notes?
While Aaron looks for his notes, Phoebe will lean over to the mist and go, well, if we are to be part of the Pythia Tubi's entourage, I'm going to make sure your arm candy, I can't talk tonight. Your arm candy looks very nice.
Yeah, my arm candy always looks very nice.
What's arm candy?
It tastes Phoebe.
Cypress is just gonna ponder that, but in a confused way for a while.
One day when you get to carry a stallion in to a party on your arm.
I was looking for the name of the Weaver, Mr. Weaver, because I was like,
Hold on,
I
I've
could
got
not. I found it,
Where'd
but
you
I
fi-
was
oh,
just
you
like,
did- okay.
yeah, Annemer.
Well, if you didn't throw all the vowels and the words into the...
Listen, my whatever. Listen. Okay. Yes, Annemer will provide you with some, any extra little goodies. Laertes, he does have a very nice Kameshian scribe's like formal wear suit that he can provide to you. So it's got like it's kind of got like the little kind of skirt thing, but it is made of this like really glittery linen. So it's very light, but it catches the light in a nice way. But then also he has some other things that are more Hellenistic in style. So you've got like a nice ensemble of different choices that you can mix and match with.
I
Does
would
he have the little like rectangle hat thing?
won't be doing that, but it's there. It's great. It won't be worn. If anything, it might just be like, okay, that'll be my pretzel hat because that's all it's going to get used for.
Beautiful.
I'd say there'd be a fusion of ideas. I think a lot of what his character design is a synthesis of different things. There's some Hellenic ideas in his character portrait and some Anatolian.
Mhm.
So I think that he'd kind of carry that forward. And he'd probably put a splash of color in there of like a nice azure blue.
Nice.
As not like a belt, but sort of like just a sash.
Right.
Something that also maybe has a little bit of that same subtle glitter effect to it, so it kind of blends in a little bit. Maybe has a little bit of the Hellenic spiral scroll woven into it, but it's less of a different color and more of there's a little more of the glitter as that pattern, like a subtle embossing.
Nice.
I owe him 1 million dinar or whatever the current price is.
Empties our coffers.
Yeah.
Cypress does wear his usual, well, now his Spartan armor, but he does just try and, if offered to him or for purchase, wear ever so slightly nicer, like garments that can be seen underneath the armor, like just a nicer white tunic that is less for going into battle and more for presenting the armor and more for just looking more like a warrior on display rather than a warrior who is getting ready for the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more gold accent and white accent.
I would very much like to have like a scarf that is like a wave motif, but like a either orange or yellow and like a cream. So it's like a sea of Fanta. But I'm trying to hearken to the Corinthian heritage
Sure.
with that. Since
Beautiful.
Phoebe's wearing the Mr. Scale shawl.
Okay.
Match my date.
All right to know. Are you doing anything fancy?
He's got a set of fancy clothes in his inventory, and I don't know anything about historical clothing other than that there is some purple in it, so you know it's very expensive.
Nice.
Ooh, very nice. Since you said in your inventory, I imagined Retno like
It's in a bag.
taking out the folded clothes and like holding them and just going like boop, and they like pop
Yes.
onto it with a little equipping noise.
That's exactly what happens.
The soft clothes makes a clicking sound for some reason.
The one thing I would have added is Laertes' outfit is going to have pants.
What the?
Okay.
He's going to be a trendsetter.
What are those?
Exotic.
I mean, you've seen his art. His
Yeah.
he has pants that basically look like David Tennant's Doctor Who
Do,
pants.
don't they?
Well, he is from, or at least lives currently in the region that was once occupied by like the Hittites in Mesopotamia, so pants were around there.
Yeah. All right.
He's bringing it back.
Exactly. All right. Before too
He's
long.
what's known as a tastemaker.
Before too long, you guys now dress up. Davos and Xanthus share a look at each other and smirk, and then go, "Are you all ready to go meet the kings?"
Is this a trap? What was that look?
What, Theban? Why would you assume that we would send you into a trap?
We've met you.
Davos just smiles. All right, let's go. They start going up the stairs.
Wonders privately if we are going to be overdressed, not in the level of fanciness, but in the level of items of clothing more.
Oh, is this just going to be a Spartan orgy, Aaron? Is that
The kings are just in robes.
we just walk in and they're
did
oiling
point
up?
out to me that there was a sexual content warning when she tried to click into the stream
That's
tonight.
true.
I don't know where that came from. It's just
I can tell you exactly where that came from.
oh, you guys fiddled with it. Okay. I was like, because I noticed that when I was trying to show clips, I was
Vampires
like,
are sexy, okay?
I guess.
Also, apparently, the first things heard when our intro ended was "blow it out your ass." So,
That's true.
That's pretty amazing. That is fair. It was.
I
Okay.
regret nothing.
That's why I loved it, because we were already in the mall screen, and that was exactly what Larry said. I was like, yeah, this is about right.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, assholes.
Okay. You make your way through a city that is sun celebration. As the sun is beginning to set, the vivid colors in the sky of golds, reds, and blues and purples that now expand across the horizon, filled, glittering with stars. The first that you guys realized you had seen in, well, what feels like days, which literally has been days. Their emergence now, just like Mild said, it's kind of like not that you forgot that they existed, but you forgot how beautiful that they are within their absence. And now, as you travel up through the city and head to the palace itself, you see that there are very many of the taverns and even just houses that seem to be for all lack of a better term, just in celebration mode. As you can hear music playing through all the city streets and corners, it's as if the dimness and darkness of the last few days have been completely forgotten. Laertes, we're gonna say.
I was just gonna ask, did Maal get all yassified, or
No, she's just wearing what she normally wears. If anything, I will say that she brings with her a really silky shawl scarf kind of thing that she uses to like as a extra thing to wear. Not necessarily to. It's more of an
Is an
accessory.
orgy.
More of an accessory, less of a whole outfit. Okay.
I beg
As-
to differ. Red No Maul is wearing a fancy muumuu.
so what she already wears?
Okay. As you approach, let me search this up a little bit. Okay. You guys make your way into the palace, and as you approach, you can see that there is a very light amount of guards, but there is definitely a is raucous the right way of saying that word? A raucous.
Raucous.
Raucous. Well, I was thinking of ruckus, but then there's like another word I thought that was
They're
like it.
related.
Okay. Well, there is a hubbub happening inside of the palace walls, and as you approach, you pass one of the guard posts where there is a large gate, the large portcullis like gate that is opened. You see that the two Spartan guards there, both of them hobgoblin, see your approach, and one of them goes deeper into the fortress as you come in, and the other one approaches you all. We have informed the kings that you have arrived. The celebration has been underway since the revelation of the sun. You all seem very nicely dressed. He looks to Davos and Xanthus, and then shakes his head. All right, come with me. And as they... and he turns and starts to lead you all. Davos and Xanthus go over to the side, and they remove their breastplates and their shirts. And they just have their like the Greek style like skirt that they have around their legs, now completely bare chested and large arm gauntlets. They grab their spears again, and they look at. Well, I'm assuming Cypress. Are you making that face? Yes.
So it was a trap.
Davos looks over at you and says, "No, there is no trap. I said what I said, did I not?" And they continue to walk in. And as you guys are walking further into the palace, you see that most of the people here are indeed not wearing much clothing. They are wearing either like just what would count for underwear, just like wrappings, or just like the skirt, or nothing at all. Just depending on their level of comfort and whatever they decided to wear. But you do arrive in the middle of a feast gone underway. There is in the
Feast for
center.
the eyes, maybe.
Yeah, very much so. There in the very center, you see a large fire pit that has been constructed with two poles on either side. You see the dais, is that what it's called? Where they put the chairs of the kings. Okay.
Mhm.
So where they have the chairs there, you see both King Menandros and King Xenophon standing there. Their generals to either side. You see the entirety of the royal court that you had seen before. And as you enter, King Menandros stands and says, "All hail the Pythia to be and the entourage of companions that she brings with her. The gods have provided us with a victory this day, and it is thanks to her and her infinite wisdom that we have succeeded." and then all the crowd goes awoo, 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 and they drink from either like pitchers, cups, buckets,
Or
whatever.
one of the
is
many
Body
jacuzzis
shots.
nearby.
Yeah, just everybody is having a rowdy time.
People in the hot tubs, they're just bending down and drinking from the water.
I'll go ahead and like add an addendum to his little thing there, his
All right.
celebration as a gracious guest. um, Glory to Lord Apollo, glory to Lady Nyx, whose stars shine brightly on us tonight. But most of all, glory upon the kings of Sparta and the brave Spartans who brought us this day.
Everyone goes awoo, 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 as they cheer for you.
They started the toast and we didn't have any drinks to toast with yet.
Oh no! Believe me, the moment you guys walked in,
Just-
you were given.
Right.
Just-
Oh, did I just miss them?
Yeah, you're just
No, you're underage.
Where did you all
can't
get
drink.
drinks from?
You were the only one they didn't give drinks to.
Shit.
so I have to
I'm
ask,
of age.
how many Jello shots were we given? That's the real question.
Is that what these are?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Ye old Jello shots.
I had a lot of them. I thought they were hors d'oeuvres. Hors d'oeuvres. They tasted very strong.
Funny, so Alcora during the Jedi for Twin Company couldn't drink, and now Cypress is not allowed to drink either.
Yep.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with age. It's just we don't serve Thebans.
Also, possibly, but he is in Spartan armor, so you can.
Are they fooled?
You do see that there's quite a few people who are like looking at the well-dressedness of everybody and commenting on, you know, how not professional, how, yeah, I guess professional. We'll say professional / business forward that you guys are. There's another term that I'm like missing, but
Cocktail.
well, there's plenty of that around.
Overdressed.
Overdressed.
So
is-
Sparta
You all
has
look
a
so
different
nice.
interpretation of that dress.
Davos
I s-
literally sass. He's like, you're going to. He's like, you don't do you. What did you say? You asked him if you. Is this how you dress? And he's like, you dress for these things. He literally. He did say it from the beginning.
Yeah.
When in Sparta, I suppose.
Are you gonna strip?
Maybe.
Despite the fact that there is a large amount of like males here, there is also a lot of
is there
females.
mostly soldiers? Because
it's
I
like-
don't know.
What's the
Total
ratio?
fest.
It's like 60-40 probably. There's like more guys than there are girls, but there are girls either serving, performing, and or just members of like the higher upper class that have been invited to the party. So
Loving that we went full Conan the Barbarian here with this scene, and you were complaining about the sexual content warning earlier.
I was just wondering where it came from, but you know, it's fine.
I think you know now. It's you. It's always been you.
After we all drink from that toast, Phoebe's gonna lean in and just give Themisto a big ol' smooch right on the lips.
The Mister will return, said Smooch, quite passionately and smiling. You could feel the smile in the kiss.
Well, what do you both think? I'm talking to Laertes and Aretino.
This is when everybody realizes that the reason the Retinos clothes made that noise when he put them on is because they are illusory.
Yes.
I was gonna assume they were just like Hellenic tearaway pants.
I love you. Woo! The party has started.
So
It will
Did-
take me 10 minutes to take all this off.
did Themisto?
Just robe.
Yeah,
Why do you want to?
I'm trying to figure out because Phoebe's like, I mean, if you do, I will. But
I goes, well, I have to leave the hood on, but maybe the rest.
just a hat.
Very mysterious.
It's the weirdest version of Donald ducking it I've ever heard of.
You can't just have Cleo out. What are they letting to see?
If Cleo could do this, she'd be like,
Every time you like hold a glass up too close, like it's getting in the glass.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You could just have like a bonnet on.
I mean, that's essentially what's may happen. Let's see how the night progresses.
Laertes, make a perception check for me.
To what?
The Mister's rack.
We've all seen it, honey.
I don't know if Cypress has. Cypress
Phoebe
rolls
puts
low
on
perception.
sunglasses so she can do the meme of when I'm wearing sunglasses, you can't tell what I'm looking at, and it's just the mister.
14.
14.
Just
Nice.
Spartan
there's-
dongs as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, I mean, human, hobgoblin.
Spartan rack, Spartan dong.
There's a couple of
In between.
Triton that are here. Like, there's a fair mixture of things to see. On the far side, hidden kind of in one of the alcoves, you see Hecate leaning against the wall,
Plastered.
bearing it all. She has a golden goblet in her hand, and you see that she has now, like, not necessarily like war paint, but she's got like ceremonial paints on her face. She's definitely it goes like all the way down, and you see these like almost like runic inscriptions, but they almost look more decorative than they look functional. But you also recognize them as being somewhat arcane in nature.
Oh, I have a meme for this.
But she sees you guys and just kind of raises an eyebrow and smirks a little bit. Just ever so briefly as she sees you guys, and then kind of goes back to pretending that she does not, as she still seems to be under the priestess vibe that she had been here earlier for. Here for business.
What I was trying to gather is whether or not she was working would be the correct term, I guess, of incognito.
Yeah.
So I'll just clock that she's present, but not heading in her direction. I would be making a point of Laertes would be keeping his clothing on. To relate back to some earlier moments, he's been quite reticent about, say, getting into that bath while being observed. So he's trying to do his best to maintain, how do I put this, decorum, while walking around the room, and maybe trying to find the kings, but trying to keep eye level, like, around here.
Yeah, the kings are up on the dais. They're each in their seats, and between them, you see the head of the creature.
Okay. Before I go do that, in case this is gonna cause an issue, does anybody else want to do something before I commit to this?
Just what Cypress is up to. Cypress will look around and seeing the varying degrees of partying and other that is going on around him. And he will take off his helmet, and his hand will stray to a bag at his side, and he'll just kind of finger the two rings that he's got, and kind of not looking sad, but not undress any further, and try to not stare at anything going on. And to eventually decide to go find a source of water. A reliable source of water in this party.
Seeing that you're trying to go for the water, Davos comes up between you and the table that you were about to try and get the water from, and he hands you a goblet. Theban, do yourself a favor. Try and loosen up a little bit.
I appreciate the thought, Davos. I will a little.
Theban. He puts a hand under your chin and lifts you up to look at him. Please. Enjoy yourself. We are not promised tomorrow. He puts the goblet up to your mouth.
Cypress will kind of interject a hand of the goblet in his mouth, but he will take the goblet and then take a sip on it of his own accord.
He rubs some big, I'll say orc, with some big hobgoblin fingers through your hair. You're learning. It's taking you a while, but you're learning. And he walks off over to where Xanthus is.
Cypress looks down at the cup, and then will, making sure that Davos is not looking, will kind of try and leave the cup behind. And with a lot of peeking behind his mental curtain, he has a lot of emotions going on. And some of it's a mix of relief, but also loneliness and fear for the future. And in a potentially romantic area, especially with what Davos might have just been doing, he decides to keep his wits about him and does not loosen up, so to speak.
Okay. All right. Laertes?
Actually, here's a quick question. Are the kings similarly undressed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's were they full on man spreading,
Are
or
they
is there
kissing?
some modesty going on? Okay, great. Just old men at the Y. I'm going to be paying attention to the wall behind them because this is awkward.
I mean, you could just look them in the eyes.
Yeah. He's just my kings, thank you for the invitation.
Menandros speaks. You see, Xenophon was about to say something. Menandros speaks. We would not have it any other way. We are glad that you and your companions are able to come and enjoy yourselves. You have definitely deserved it, and Sparta owes you a debt of gratitude.
Oh, well, we were not the ones that clearly felled the beast at your feet.
No, but you're the ones who made us aware that there was danger in our city to begin with. And you did your fair share in clearing them out, from which the soldiers recount was quite the spectacle for the mere companions of a Pythia to be.
I hope you understand that we were not trying to make a ruckus in your city if we didn't have to.
It was appreciated that you came to seek permissions first. It speaks of your character.
Speaking of permission, I wouldn't want to disrupt the earned display, but I would greatly be humbled and appreciate a moment to examine the remains of the creature.
I'm sure something can be arranged once the festivities have ended.
Of course. Thank you for your time. Is there anything else I can do or relay for you while I'm in your presence?
No. Please enjoy yourself. This is a moment of celebration. We can speak of business tomorrow.
Of course. Thank you for your time.
He nods, bows back to you as you bow, and then there
Because there's
is-
2 kings, I imagine there's a bit of a doctor.
Let me see here.
At this point, Phoebe's gown has shimmered, and it is now just a skirt.
What?
That's how far she's committed so far.
Themisto will match, but do like one of those like ridiculous like super long not historically accurate like silk loincloth things.
Not covering any thigh, just super
Exactly.
long on it.
we
So again,
really-
what Kindred would do.
Down the front, down the back, none on the sides.
it
I
is
gotta
a
have somewhere to put the Apollonian sons. Still.
yeah. Hold on. Let me regain my thoughts. Oh, yes.
That's
I was like, we
How funny! That's what's in Phoebe's brain right now.
we fully went into Conan land. That's what I'm thinking about it.
Conan.
I'm having
So we're
all
playing that
I'm
this
ha-
winter,
I
right?
know. I was like, I'm
We
just
gotta
Is that a
bring it
new?
back.
Is that another age?
Yeah,
Oh my
the Misto
God.
just on the cover of the
Age of
next issue of
Conan.
Red Sonja.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, that's coming out soon, so
What is that age? It's the
It's
Oh,
an
I
age
know.
of dreamed of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Before the
Um,
rise of the sons of Ares when the oceans drank Atlantis.
yes, there you go. Well, that's actually has already happened because that was just after the fall of Bahiri and before now. So within that 1,000
I
years
see,
was
I
it's,
see.
all
it's
of
the
the
chaotic rebuilding barbarian period. Okay, that's what we're gonna go with. That's the
Why
canon now.
not? Why not?
Arborian.
All right.
I had the soundtrack. That's why I know that intro so well.
Yeah. Before I go to this is like the save point before the cutscene. Is there anything that you want to do or say?
I mean, Themisto is gonna be like probably, definitely hanging out with Phoebe,
Mhm.
but also trying to make sure that we sat wherever Aretna was kind of sitting, because I mean, like I said, Dionysian
Oh, he's not
wanna
sitting.
be in the presence of this
whatever
guy during the party.
whatever the Spartan equivalent is of leading a conga line while you're wearing a lampshade is what's happening right now. I should
Excellent.
probably make a Constitution saving throw.
I
With
imagine though the
advantage.
lampshade is the creature's head in this case.
Or
Oh,
it's
I'm
just
fine.
like part of the super long trail of the Mistos.
That's
God.
Phoebe's job.
Well, he's not under it. It's just so long that it's
Just
ended
that
up all
long.
over this whole room.
Okay, let me see here. Where is my
Cypress is off to the side, avoiding people.
okay. Okay. As you guys are in about your various places, King Xenophon takes a big refilled goblet, stands up on the dais, and gets ready for another toast. To the soldiers of Sparta. Oh wait, hold on. I had forgotten. Oh no. Press the wrong button. Need to go over here.
To the citizens and soldiers of Sparta, you have made a name for our people in the histories of the world. This day will be remembered as the day Spartans, with the aid of those sent by the gods, have brought light back to the Spartan people.
And then scream, like they do the cheer again. Awoo! 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 As everybody shouts it. Menandros then comes up next to him and then offers his own toast as well. Spartans, we are might and will incarnate, not giving in to the darkness or the whispers of fear. Today we have proven to the people of Sparta that we are warriors, and we will prove to the world that we are a force to be reckoned with. Ares, as our witness, we will lay all our enemies at his feet in his honor. For we are Sparta, and this is Sparta! And they all cheer again. Awoo! Awoo!
All right, who gets
awoo!
kicked off a cliff?
Someone gets
You
kicked
see,
into
as
a
he
jacuzzi.
says, this, there are soldiers who come from around the dais with the large pole that the animal is hung from. And then with the aid of a few of the hobgoblins, they place the pole over the fire pit and the two poles that were standing on the ground and begin to stoke the fire. As the fire then begins to lick up and consume the body of this creature. King Menandros comes down the steps.
Is it the body or the head?
The body.
Yeah, it's gonna.
The,
Yeah.
the head is still between the thrones. He grabs his full his full goblet, and pours it into the fire. We offer this praise to Ares for bringing victory to the humans of Sparta, to the hobgoblins of Sparta, to all of Sparta. And you can see the fire begins to catch the creature. Hecate comes over to Laertes, wraps an arm through yours, and like leans her head on your shoulder. Dawn drinkers.
Aaron, am I supposed to know what that means?
No.
Okay.
I have had thought they all to have been lost after the fall.
The creature, you mean?
Yes. They were creatures of another place that we had one time had called the Fae. But this one apparently had been tainted by the plague somehow. It makes me fear for what we do not know that still lurks out in this world. And if Phobos is able to call these things to him, I fear for what horrors might still remain.
Well, it seems we at least have a lead of where to go next. We can get ahead of it. We can at least maybe stem the extent of the horrors it could unleash.
That is my hope.
I would ask. We're going to need to get there faster.
I wish I could help. I am actually here to say goodbye for the time being.
What do you mean? Where are you going?
Olympus. well, to be specific, Heraclium. I am to be taking Oretno and the prisoners to be, she leans up, cleansed by the priests there.
What's actually going to happen to them?
We must ascertain how much they have been changed by the plague, if at all. They show no signs. Nothing like we have seen before, and yet they have Orphic power, and that is concerning.
I would posit a theory.
Would you?
One of us could be untouched by the plague, but have a more nihilistic view of the world. Imagine the terrible things I could do if I thought differently.
It is true. We shall see. There are amongst those in Olympus those who can pry truths. We will see what is found. But I'm afraid
know.
that we cannot risk the journey that the kings would have proposed.
Mm. I know we have more pressing issues, but would it not be to our collective benefit to just all of us go there at some point?
At some point. But I believe that currently Thebes awaits you.
Yeah,
Ares
higher
is there.
priorities.
Ares is there now as we speak.
Mm.
We shall see what he finds.
At least we'll be running into an ally.
More than one, I am sure.
Any I can look forward to specifically.
I may be the goddess of many things, but secrets is one of them, you know.
But for it to be a secret, not everyone needs to know it. Just a select few.
True. This is true. You can see why you won so many of your debates back in Elam. She looks, and you see the king, Xenophon, go up to the fire pit with a big
Mhm.
goblet and pours it out over the fire. Of the 16 that went below into the caves, we remember the 8 that did not return. Ilios, Methodius, Phoebus, Thespis, Hectorus, Epizelos, Agenor, and Cephalonius. Your deeds of bravery will be remembered always, and we will live in the hearts of Spartan men and women for as long as there are tales to tell. There is a murmur through the crowd, particularly the humans. But the festivities quickly resume, and the night goes on. For at least 4 more hours. By this time in the night, the fire has now dwindled, and the burnt carcass of the beast has now fallen to char and rubble. The head still remains between the 2 thrones. Most of the soldiers present have either passed out drunk or are in the process of passing out drunk. More than about a dozen wrestling matches have already begun and ended, with various victors and various of others who claim that they were actually the victors had they not been cheated. At some point, all of you find yourselves beyond the words for tired. Hecate has come to Oretino, who seems to be like the Energizer Bunny of parties for some reason. Whether it be a
Just
gift,
keeps going.
a gift or a curse.
I got a 26 on that concept, by the way.
Yeah,
Hey.
for sure. She has come to you and spoken of your task, taking you and the prisoners and a few soldiers to Heraclium. She's told you specifically that the soldiers' memories of the trip will be long and arduous, filled with secrets and dashing from shadows and crevice and canyon to try and keep the cult from falling into hands of their would-be rescuers.
Mhm.
But you will get there much faster than that. She says for you to go and say your probably temporary farewells, if you so wish.
I so wish. We'll go fine. I don't know. What's everybody doing right now? We all together?
Cypress is hiding.
Cypress is hiding.
You'd be able to find him, but he has not enjoyed these last 4 hours for one reason or another.
No, I just
And he's just exhausted against a wall somewhere.
Laertes, Themisto, Phoebe, Cypress, each individual. Cypress by yourself later. I'm afraid that my prediction was correct, and I must be heading out on official business to escort these prisoners to Heraclium.
Such sour news for such a celebratory time.
Well, I hate to leave a party while it's still going, you know.
It just means the party's going with you.
I like that.
Well, this party meanwhile, at the later conversation with Cypress, well, this party just got that much more unhappy.
You seem tired. Perhaps without my encouragement, it will end sooner and you can get some sleep.
I will miss you when you're gone.
I suspect we shall all see each other again at some point.
I hope so.
Thank you for all your help, Oretano.
Was a
And I
pleasure.
don't mean just with the party.
Although that is my specialty, there will be maybe the next time we run into each other, there will be a play being performed about 5 heroes and how they fought back the darkness and reclaimed the sun.
I look forward to our next meeting.
Right, I guess
Best of luck. Oh, he's gone.
illusory clothes reappear.
I was going to say, were his clothes the entire time we were interacting with him ever real?
Who's to say? Nobody ever checked.
He was just
Do you dare
breezy.
to reach and try and touch it?
You realize you can just see through illusions by looking, right? You don't have to go and just doctor's exam.
Eh, most people don't look.
Nice.
I would say that this mission would be in good hands.
Well, I think I'm mostly a formality. Hecate really has all the help she needs by herself.
Maybe.
But I suspect they have some more business for me.
Well, what I know is that I know without you, I would not be standing. So, thank you.
I'm glad I could assist.
I'm saddened that I only got to meet you when there was little time for joy.
It's only been 2 days, hasn't it? Wow.
Long 2 days. Hope to
Like-
see you in peacetime.
Hopefully that will be sooner rather than later. And now, before we keep doing the Spartan goodbye, I must. Just talking by the door for half an hour.
All right. Well, if there are no further words,
Get out.
Hakate comes up to you as you guys are all together talking. Ma'al comes over. Aratano. She who had been lurking in the dark shadows for so long.
What is Ma'al wearing at this point?
She's wearing exactly what she came in with.
Okay.
She has the lampshade.
She was the lampshade.
She was.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
I'm gonna make you molt.
Where are my iron bands of binding?
She looks over to Aretano. Saying your goodbyes.
For now. Don't worry, you're not rid of me for good.
I know. The gods tend to like to curse me for all eternity. She looks at Hekate. She looks at Hekate and is like, please make it end soon. Hekate is like, I am taking him away.
And I'm going willingly. You're welcome, Mal.
I will say this only once. Don't go changing history, but make it instead.
I always do.
Do you, though? Do you?
Do I?
Why do you try my patience?
It's so easy.
Mm. Just like all the floozies you are with all the time.
Yes.
I hope I don't see you too soon, Aretano. Don't die. She turns around.
I think she just said she loves you. I don't know.
That's a pretty big compliment coming from her.
To be fair, she is shit faced.
She has been drinking the whole time.
That explains it. I knew she would not say that in
She
a sound
seems the
mind.
same to me. Is she always drinking?
You spend enough time with her, you'll be able to tell.
All right. Well, as Hekate puts her arm through Aretano's arm, shall we go escort some ruffians to a better future?
I think we shall.
She goes over to the kings.
Yep.
She goes and takes you over to the kings and says, we are going to depart before too long to take the prisoners to Heraklion, my kings. We have to guide us one of the best and smoothest talkers that you will ever find in the Helens. The kings bow, and that's like the extent of conversation that you can hear. There's a couple more words that go back and forth before you see Hekate and Aretano leave what is now a passed out party. The kings come over to you all. Thank you for coming to the celebration, Menandro says. Now that the light has returned, we are going to find a way to get you to Thebes as quick as possible.
That would be appreciated. Thank you.
With all of the dangers that are on the road, and so as to avoid any sort of political incidents, we will find out for you the best mercenaries that money can buy. Someone you can trust, we hope. And do not worry about the price. This is paid for by the Spartan kingdom.
The queens of Thebes are not famed for their tolerance,
And
from what I have heard, but surely I could have some sway and tell them of what you Spartans have helped us to do here. They would welcome the assistance then.
True. But you must consider the other city-states in between here and Thebes. Seeing a band of Spartan warriors going through their lands. But we will talk on this tomorrow. Once you have had plenty of time to rest. Yes? In the morning?
Just to satisfy my curiosity before I leave, may I... And he sort of angles his head towards the head of the creature.
Oh, sure, of course. Then we will speak tomorrow. The kings depart.
Or the kings depart.
Hmm?
Yes. Perhaps could you spare some space in the palace for all of us companions?
Sure. We have a barracks or two that is currently, they look around at the soldiers that are passed out on, under, and around all of the tables that are probably going to be empty for the night, so.
It would be nicer than walking back to where we're staying.
Of course. All right.
When the kings depart, Cyprus says very tiredly and audibly to just the group, so that the whole party was just a see you tomorrow party.
Good night, Cypress.
Oh, good night.
All right. And as you guys find yourselves walking to the room, we are going to go ahead and take a break there because it's already 9. So,
That's how late this party went. in Sparta.
yeah, it's already 9. Oh. Beautiful.
Well, to be fair, everyone's got major jet lag from the sun not existing for 4 days.
Yeah, that'll mess with your body clock.
Yeah.
All right. So, Aretino / Petulant Cobra, David, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Don't go.
Thank you for having me. I shall return. at
You
some point.
shall.
please.
You
Will
shall
you be
return.
returning
It's been
after the
wonderful.
break?
I will tell you. I will tell
I
you right
will,
now.
But how long after the break, I think, is still an open question.
as the
It's
screen
easy.
as the screen fades to black, it says at the bottom, Aretino will return. So don't go anywhere. We will see you
Assuming
guys.
we get
Uh-oh.
renewed for season 2. And
Right. Yeah.
We'll see you guys here in a minute. Don't go anywhere. All right. We back. Beautiful, beautiful. Once again, thank you for Petulant Cobra / David / Aretino / Bessie's from over there at Top Down Tabletop Land. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It is always a pleasure to have you on board as Orasi
It
or
was
Retino.
marvelous.
It is always a
Oh.
pleasure to have you. That's what I heard. Your ma'al's coming out.
Everyone is gonna need a cold shower after the session.
Yeah, so if you want to see more, oh my gosh, if you want to see more Aretino, not as Aretino, but as, oh my gosh, what was the name of your character? I saw it and I remembered it and then I forgot it just now. But all I know is elf ears, a braid, and a beautiful flower. Like, pristine. Rowan! Thank you, Rowan. Then go check them out on Mondays at 6:30 Central, I believe is what it was. So yeah, go check them out over there. All right.
And I think every other Saturday, maybe? Question mark.
You'll see Top Down Tabletop schedule for details. / Discord for details. Okay. As you guys are going to bed, Laertes, you want to do a quick check of the head?
Yes, please.
What would you like to do?
Ooh, so many things. No, we're just gonna do the 20 minutes total. I guess I'm gonna do identify first, and we'll see where that takes me.
Okay.
I'm also going to involve the vial of blood. I'm just chasing down a potential theory.
Let's see. Okay.
Or if I need to do an Arcana check instead, it's
I-
basically he's going to be going through his
You
just checks this thing.
Okay. There are no spells on
Mhm.
affecting this creature.
Mhm.
It is a creature of its own, so
Mhm.
identify is not going to do anything with that. Aside from,
It's good to rule out.
yeah. And then I'm assuming any. Go ahead and make an Arcana check, or actually it'd be like animal nature.
Animal handling.
Nature. I
Okay.
would do a nature and an Arcana check. How about that?
I do both?
Oh, sure, why not?
Okay.
Do two of them. So you do one for nature.
Okay, so
one for
11 for nature, which isn't great. That's better. 24 for Arcana.
Nature-wise, obviously, like Kate said, there's not a lot that you recognize with this thing. It is a creature that you have never seen before, and doesn't seem to share anything, at least from. Yes, if you wish. Aretino says he wants to give everybody bardic inspirations with his goodbye speech, so everybody gets a D8.
Nice. I won't use it here if I can hold on to it. Or does... I forget, do they have a timer, or is it kind of just whenever?
I want to say until long rest.
Oh, well, then I might as well just use it now.
I think. No, if either way.
Yeah. All right, I'll just use
I
it
think it's
now
like
then.
8 hours or a long rest. I don't remember. Either way.
I'll use it now.
Okay.
Why not? Ooh. So that would make it again, dirty 30.
Are you using it on Arcana?
Oh my god.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I figured that's very poetic that I get a dirty 30 again, so because of Aretino.
Nice. You learn Arcana wise,
Mm-hmm.
this creature being something that you have never seen before does indeed. I'll say that this gives you your first taste of what fey creatures could be like.
Mhm.
They don't exist in a. It shares so many familiar aspects of creatures you have seen, but then there's just this alien nature to it as well. But with that 30, I will definitely say that you start to notice, and granted, there's a lot of like CSI stuff that you could or could not argue is happening here. Like you don't know what this creature, if what you are seeing is results of the way it died, the results of any sort of trauma that it had undergone. There around its 5 eyes are these, and I'll put a picture in campaign art later after the stream. There are these things that look like almost like veins, like what you would imagine a bloodshot eye, but instead it's just like popped out veins that are around each of these things, giving it a little bit of that plague touched vibe to it without it being like oozing the black tar that you normally would see. If that makes sense.
Interesting.
Okay. Other than that, from it, because you're just examining its head, like its body had burned away to bone. There's like a little bit of a skeleton left in the dying embers, but most of what you see looks, at least from the skeleton wise, it looks like just any other skeleton. It doesn't seem to have any sort of crazy aspects to it. Actually,
I think I'd be a little thorough and just, I'm here. I might as well spend just a couple minutes looking at it. The charred lower half.
You gain an insight that this thing seems to share qualities with creatures that can sense light. It seems like it gives off the plant vibes. When you look at the little ears that are around its head, it has they look like leaves, like really sturdy, almost chitinous, bony leaves.
I feel like the word is photoreactive,
Yes.
where it tends to like sort of tilt and orient itself in that direction.
But a lot of what looks like some of the damage on it looks like it was chopped and beaten with swords. So much so that you can see why they called them dawn drinkers. Like they would seem to absorb light in that sense.
Considering that a working good theory, maybe not the exact truth, but a working theory was that harpies were once upon a time either Aarakocra or something very similar. And they've since been this corrupted lineage. Do I get a sense of what this could have been related to in some?
Because Hecate said it was a creature that had existed in the Feywild. But they had been brought here, so it doesn't exist in otherwise. The closest would be like the body looks like a lion, but this creature specifically seems like it wasn't what we would consider part of our natural like animal kingdom.
All right, I won't linger on this for too long. So
okay, but you saw the vile blood, right?
Yeah, I would have been checking on that as well, just out of curiosity. I don't know if I can, because it would have been part of the identify thing, because I would have to do the ritual that's 10 minutes, but once it's done, I can do that for, I think, 10 minutes straight afterwards, and basically just tapping an object.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it still hasn't like oozed away, what you're used to with a lot of these kind of creatures, is they kind of fizzle and fade. So you know that it was strong, probably more based in It's strange, almost more based in reality than based in whatever the plague creates.
Did Nagoosh dissolve once we killed it?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. And the one that we killed on the beach, did that dissolve immediately or did it take its time? Okay.
Started to dissolve.
Okay.
It seemed like upon death or loss of consciousness, things that are made entirety of the plague kind of just fizzle into nothing.
Mm-hmm. And when I was examining this, did I get the sense of plague or
Like I said, there was those
like, was
aspects
this
of like
dipped in tar?
yeah, that's what I said earlier. Was like you have those like some similarities of like the weird veiny protrusions around the eyes, but it wasn't necessarily slick or by any means. But it just there was like similarities that kind of you could see kind of gave plague vibes, like this texture of the skin, but the eyes were there. The maul was not. You know what I mean? There are differences. About the rest of you guys, anything you were doing before you go to bed that I want to know
I
about?
don't know.
That are actually relevant to the story.
No.
No.
And we'll leave the rest of that for your imaginations.
Cypress crawls into bed and pretty much crashes because his armor's still pristine. It's the first time in a long time he hasn't had to clean it before going to bed.
I don't know. It's kind of sticky. There's a lot of splashed wine from the.
Cypress gets out of bed.
Did Cypress do any wrestling during the festivities?
I feel like-
Unlikely.
I was gonna say probably not.
I think he was not feeling very relaxed through the evening.
At some point in the night, Davos and Xanthus
Why
had
was the
disappeared.
Misto?
Not during the festivities.
At some point during the night, you're not sure when, Davos and Xanthus had disappeared. Which was odd considering that they are always like hanging out with you guys, but at some point in all of the chaos and hubbub, Ma'al 2 does also just crash out on the bed, just face first, does not move after that. But the gentle like rise and fall of her back, so you know that she is.
Okay, good. Yeah, I
She is
feel like
breathing.
you might have checked to make sure she was still breathing. Arms are on her side so she doesn't choke.
Basically. All right. You all take a
She's
long
gonna have
Rest.
Such a huge hangover.
Themista and Phoebe get a point of exhaustion, but the rest of you take a long rest.
We might have already joked about that.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Where does one mark that on the character
Let's
sheet?
see.
Oh,
Durations?
no,
Short
I'm
rests.
just kidding. I was just joking. It's fine.
Also, yes.
I mean, if we need to.
No, it's fine.
If you take like a bunch of short rests.
I'm just not going to say all the words coming to my mind right now.
That's
It's okay, you can
completely-
type them.
It's completely okay. You can leave them wherever they. Anyway, okay. Next morning, there is the busting open of the door to the like shared barracks that you guys have all kind of crashed out in. As Davos and Xanthus finally find you guys. Theban.
What?
Steven.
What? Hello, good morning.
Are you alive?
No.
Well, here we were
Are
so
you?
close. Oh, very much so. You forget
good.
that our people have a high amount of tolerance to alcohol. We can drink a lot, but it takes a lot for it to put us under. He looks over at Xanthus and just kind of like, They still got that
Both
like
nice.
jock bro like inner joke kind of like hey, and then look over it and back down at you. They look at these mounds beneath blankets that are the rest of the party and all down along the barracks. Is everybody else alive?
I would imagine.
Well,
Let me get them up.
are you sure?
Cyrus.
We're very capable of doing it, as you saw.
I think they would appreciate a gentler morning call.
Psh, if why you are in Sparta, you might as well do as the Spartans do.
Would you wake up your mistress like that?
Fine, Theban. Just take the joy out of my life.
I mean, you could wake up everyone else in here. But Cypress will go over to nearest companion and be like, hey, it's apparently time to get up.
You see Davos goes over to Ma'al, puts a hand over her back, and then thinks better of it, and then goes over.
I thought you were going to say put his hand over her mouth.
Or at least put a mirror up to her mouth to see if she's breathing.
All right, we'll say over the course of the next little bit, as everybody finally comes to and awakens.
Hmm.
So, Davos,
Hmm.
how was your first Spartan Bacchanal?
Are Phoebe and Themisto in the room? Or
Oh yes.
okay.
We would have tried to find a different room,
I think he meant that
but at
we're
this
all together
point,
now.
yes, we'd back all together.
He was asking me or asking all of us?
All of us.
Oh.
It was both not and exactly what I was expecting it to be.
This is true.
I enjoyed
Although-
it.
I will say, you party almost as much and as hard as freshmen. I'm very impressed.
And this was a public figure. Oh no, wait, hold on. I must find the words.
Are you
This was
hungover?
no. This was a. There was a lot of public figures in this function.
Yes, a lot of figures were public.
Imagine what happens when the kings and the rest of court is not around. Now you come to a soldier's bacchanal. You are not leaving for at least 2 days. Mostly because they have you bound, but that's a whole other thing. But I'm glad that you were able to enjoy yourselves, at least somewhat. He looks over at Cyprus.
It was an alright evening. I assumed that it would be more of a, alright, let's talk about what we're doing next. I didn't realize I was
It might
waiting for today.
It might have been initially, but once the sun returned and the creature was found and slain, then it became something else altogether.
I'm glad everyone else had a very good time.
As am I. That being said, I think the kings are ready.
I'm ready to meet them.
And the rest of you, do you need time?
I think we need to get some sort of caffeinated substance into Ma'al, but
Oh my goodness.
What
Maybe a wheelbarrow?
mean? She rises from the dead.
oh, for a second I thought we were going to have to fetch last rites, but
No. I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm sure that I would be completely fine. I forgot who I was for a second. I was still being Davos, and I was like, oh wait, maybe not. Let me see. Okay. Believe me, I have survived this long. I can survive a few more Spartan bacchanals. This is not my first.
Oh, is that how you met Aretino?
He wishes. But no, that was not it.
I'm gonna get that story out of you one day.
And I shall tell it to you. I shall definitely tell it to you. But at this moment, do not worry about me. Shall we go and meet your king so we can get along with our day?
Yes, please.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, follow me. Oh, wait, I'm not leading. You, Davos, go. I'm getting all sorts of confused. It's fine. I don't know who I am anymore. That's completely normal. Okay. You guys go back to the main room where the king's dais and the throne room is, and they had all the tables set up. And there are still a few Spartan casualties that are like currently still trying to hide under the tables, curled up like they were in bed. But for the most part, they seem up. The
BB's gown this morning has returned to full coverage, much more average looking.
Yes, indeed. Themisto is also wearing a very priestessly attire.
I'm back in my school clothes.
In my mind, I went like school uniform, and I was just like just like shorts and a button up. Oh yeah, school
Oh yeah, I look like 5 from the first couple of seasons of Umbrella Academy. Makes sense.
Please reference character art. That's how we look.
Yeah. Now you're back. You're back to normal. Oops, all Davos. Thanks, Jinx. Okay. The kings stand before you. There's a couple of their generals and a few members of the court. Definitely not as many as there were yesterday. Definitely seems like it's still. You're looking at probably like 10:30 about whenever you guys have by now at this point gathered and stuff. So into
I
the.
forgot to say our sun prayer as we were asleep.
Oh.
I don't know though. We might have just fallen asleep at that point. Anyways.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. As you guys are, as the kings are now talking to you. Jesus.
So I am to understand, King Xenophon, am to understand that you are all to be traveling today to head towards Thebes, yes?
Indeed.
While initially I had intended to try and find you passage to the coast, as it would be faster by sea, we have recently received some reports this morning via couriers that have been traveling through the night. The seas have turned into a rather turbulent place as of late. There have been reports of various monsters tearing apart ships, destroying properties, and fisher folk going missing.
And the word of a ship called the Hulk of the Sea.
I have not heard of this ship. Is this a ship that you are familiar with?
Another of our entourage.
I think this may be the first time our Capitanius would be happy to know no one has heard of her ship.
Well, be that as it may, it would seem that traveling northeast across the lands will be your safest bet, as at least that way you can see what is coming towards you instead of what is coming from below you. That in mind, and we did take into consideration, Themisto, your words of a Spartan delegation. We will send with you Davos and Xanthus, as they have already spoken to wanting to continue in your service. They will be acting now as representatives for Spartan interests.
Yes, I am honored that they will continue to follow me. Thank you for granting them this. You couldn't have picked finer soldiers for the choice.
Phoebe, what were you gonna say?
I could not find Sparta on the map, but I just found it.
He continues. I'm losing where my voice mod is.
That being said, we found us a small group that comes highly recommended. As I said, the Spartan Kingdom will pay for this, so you need not worry. We will make sure that they are well compensated for traveling with you. And though I know that you probably need not their protection, it would still do us some comfort to know that you are not going to be traveling the roads between city-states alone. Are we in agreement with this?
Safety numbers is a net positive. I would ask, what can you tell us about them when we meet?
Well, they do seem a little rough around the edges. They have come from many places across of most of the Greek lands. But I guess bring them forth.
He gestures to the door, and you guys turn to see the people that are walking in, and there looks like to be a group of 6 of them. And as the morning sun kind of catches your eyes, you see just the silhouette of them, and then they as they come in, you hear a voice ring out across the courtyard, if the voice would like to speak.
So who will be traveling with us today?
I'm so excited right now.
And then a second voice rings out.
It looks like I have found my young Orphix again.
If
coincidence.
If I could get the both of you to join us, then that would be very great for me, please, and thank you. As we await for these people to roam into chat, into Zooms.
To sail into our hearts? What?
Yeah. Oh, I guess I need to switch this around. Boop boop.
Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
I'll put this one over here, and then this one over here. And wait, hold on.
From an undisclosed location, Sonder?
I need one more. Is it this one? Nope. Is it? Wait, hold on. Why?
Police protection, Sonder.
Where is your?
That's the real reason why Astrid had to disappear.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is Saunders' new persona just
There
Witsec
you go.
Sonder, or
Hey. As the light filters in, you see a group of individuals in front of which a familiar face stands and comes forward. Well, 2 familiar faces. Actually, make that 3 familiar faces, as you recognize one of the crew of Amadeo. But
I I'm
Yes.
going to run up to Astrid and throw my arms around her.
It's a group
She-
hug. This is
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
gonna
This
run
is
over
happening.
to you guys as well. Ah, it's so good to see you all again.
Capitanios.
So glad you're safe.
Missed you so much.
I missed you as well. It seems all is well then, yes?
Wait, it's been what, like 3 days?
No.
It's been like 4-ish.
Let me check my reliable sources.
Things are moving in a good direction, I think. Because
It has been 3 days.
I
Four
look
now.
about. Is Eric's in the group that
No.
is here? And Eric's.
She is safe. There was a moment, along with the captain here, where things were looking bleak, but we fought off the pirate Zala. He is no more, no longer a threat. As well as Cerberus has been slain.
Truly, the gods were with you, or you've made yourself among them. I'm gonna turn to the other Capitanios. Because this is a face I remember. How did you cross paths?
Completely on accident.
Right.
We were walking around under the sea, as you do when you are a pirate. And all of a sudden, things got a little bit complicated. Your dear friend almost got my entire crew eaten by sharks, but it turned out to be fine.
I went in.
I hope that
They didn't
one
survive,
day...
but it's fine.
Oh, go ahead, Astrid.
I went in to try and find Eric's. Astra, by her grace, taught me how to find things. I used my powers to locate things, navigate me towards them. I was able to find Eric's in the same place that Amadeo was. I found his crew first, locked in shackles and chains under the water. But while trying to get them out, we crossed paths.
It was probably good that we did.
While Laertes is very clearly, visibly happy that Astrid is back, he's paying attention to Amadeo and wondering what's the reaction to things like powers. Is it just matter of course, or is it all dismissive?
Dismissive.
Interesting.
I hope that one day the both of you can tell us this story in a sort of long form, maybe 3 to 4 hours a night.
It seems like a good length of time for that type of story.
Right, it's 3 to 4 episodes, maybe.
I'd be enthralled the whole time. I would tune in weekly for that.
Well,
you see with standing behind Amadeo is a young looking orc individual, green skin, like reddish leathers, has a giant battle axe stuffed in their back on their back, just kind of like arms crossed, just does that like anime character pose. It's just like half shoulders, like leaning down like this with their head up, just kind of like does a little sup kind of thing.
I've seen Phoebe make that pose at people.
Are they doing the thing where their arms are crossed and trying to make their biceps look a little bigger?
A little bit. This orc is like short by most orc comparisons. So either they are just short or they are just really young. Probably both.
Oh no, little guy syndrome and an orc
in
Little,
Sparta.
Preteen orc.
And then you see also amongst them a rather robust older woman who looks. Do you guys remember? I know some of you guys may have seen it, but I had a Sea of Thieves character that I had like an older piratey lady. That would be the other one, and then rounding out the other side would be a like middle-aged Triton man. Has like another like long spear that is made of bone and shell that is attached to his back, and just kind of they trio up behind Amadeo in a very almost imposing kind of like thing, but not quite.
Was that young orc a young man or a young woman?
Hard to
or
tell.
A young non-binary orc.
Yeah, non-binary works for them. So yeah, you can't really tell.
And who is the rest of your crew?
Oh, yes. This is Maug. He points at the orc. Maug is new. And let's just say it is not the battle axe you need to worry about. Margetta, you may have already met. I won't lie, I do not remember the last time we crossed paths. She is something of a first mate of mine.
That's right.
Old member of the crew. And then, of course, Mikos.
Could y'all drop these names into chat, please?
Yeah.
Malgetta, and Mikos.
That's not going to get confusing at all.
That is right. Everyone on my crew has a name that starts with an M.
Hey, we brought Maal, so this is going to be great.
Amadeus.
My new name is Mastrid.
And I am Mamadeo.
Mom for short.
No.
Mom for short. Mom. You have the king Xenophon, the hobgoblin king.
So I am to take it that you know some of these people then, but not all of them.
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh, you were talking to me.
Anybody.
We've met.
Excellent. Apparently.
We have only known
If
each
he
other
says it,
for
I
maybe
believe
2
it.
weeks.
With this, it was hard to be a coincidence. I had to think that you had found out that we were traveling with this Capitanios before.
No. I was not even aware that you had 2 Capitanios present. I had heard of various tales of Amadeo and his crew. They have quite the reputation amongst the coastal towns. Pretty highly recommended by those that I asked. Though now I'm beginning to wonder if... Well, never mind. As per our agreement, Amadeo, your crew will be handsomely rewarded for making sure that these 4 arrive in Thebes safely and in as singular pieces as possible.
It will be done. Just remember, we are very expensive.
But highly recommended and worth every drachma,
Highly
yes?
recommended. Of course.
Highly recommended by whom, I might ask?
Yes.
Ask anyone.
I'm asking you. And the kings.
I actually don't know who did tell us that Amadeo was the one. Does anybody remember?
Out of curiosity, how much are they earning for this venture?
Upon successful arrival of all 4, that would be about 400 drachmi per individual. So if you lose one of them, then you will be out 400 per individual you lose
Still
along the way.
plenty.
Was it somebody at the party last night that was like a friend of Amadeus?
Was
while you guys
Amadeo
were
at the
drunk?
party?
It was like
It
There's
might
a
have
guy
been a
named
member of my crew.
Amadeus.
Was Amadeo at the party? Was he just like, hey, you should hire us. We're totally reliable. As he's actually just dressed as a waiter pouring somebody drinks.
Mhm. Amadeo wasn't there, but his cousin Tomadeo was. And he highly recommended them.
Is Tomadeo just Amadeo, but like a finger mustache? Or
He actually painted half of his face red.
oh, that's cultural appropriation, my friend.
Only partially.
Yep, that's beautiful.
Nonetheless, I can account that Amadeo and his people are quite skilled.
You see
and I
Mog.
trust-
You see Mog go like this. Like, that's right. You should have seen what we did at the bottom of the sea. Maybe we'll tell you about that sometime.
It was quite a spectacle.
Well, apparently we're going to have time on the walk, so we'd love to hear it.
Maybe I will. Maybe. There's a little bit
That's
of
right.
this like you definitely get the vibe of like pubescent teenager vibes of just like trying to be cool, you know, just like that nonchalant vibe. Yeah, it's great.
I feel like I just
can't
called
wait to see what
bullshit.
you've learned.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Astrid, I can't wait to see what you've learned.
Many things. I cannot wait to tell you all about it.
Mag, how good are you with hand-to-hand combat?
Let's just say that I left the last people who asked in pieces.
Insight check.
Sure, make an insight check.
All right, you and me, sometime on this journey.
Mhm.
You think you can handle
18.
it? 18? There's
Is that old? Is that more than their age?
beautiful. I'm gonna say that there is definitely a lot of bravado, but there is also something that is truly almost kind of scary behind their eyes. Like, it's almost like you're seeing a facade in front of truth that's also in front of a facade that's in front of truth. There's a lot of layers that they're trying to contain. So there's a level of this person seems kind of full of it. But also the way they stand and the way they've been like appraising everybody with their eyes lends you to believe that this person knows what they are capable of.
Can I add to that, Aaron?
Sure.
Laertes, you get the sense that the last person that asked didn't ask. That's what's not true about what they just said.
Yeah, also fair.
I can't wait to see Mag. It's good to know what your teammates can do.
They look over at Astrid, and there is the briefest flash of respect in their face.
Sure.
Yeah. It is good to know what everyone is capable of. We've got a pretty good captain. Mine's better, but they're pretty all right.
You're certainly has a way with words and a way with convincing people of things I'm Not entirely sure how he does, but I'm kind of impressed.
You did offer to tell us our fortunes the last time we met, and we didn't take him up on it.
Did you not? Oh, this is going to be a fun journey.
Was that you or your cousin Tamadeo?
Oh, Tamadeo was not there. Now, my cousin Ramadeo, he might have been there. What village was this again?
This was, let's see. It was after we left Lesbos, and
It was like 6 days ago.
We never left, let's be honest.
Baby then.
Oh my god. Hooligans.
before we went to Palilleros,
We were with Saphira and Tethys and Orcos. Unless that
Orcos.
note is wrong.
It's a popular name in the Mediterranean, I guess.
That was spooky.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Finicus?
Mikas. That sounds familiar to me.
Well,
I
regardless.
think that's it.
Yeah. Regardless,
I hope that all actually
was-
transpired. In front of
It
the
was
kids.
Finicus, and it was December 5th of 2023.
Oh wow.
dang, that's wild. It's been a minute. The King Menandros comes up. Well, I cannot tell you how grateful I am that I can see these wonderful people off to their next destination under the best of care. He raises an eyebrow towards Amadeo. I better hear that they arrived safely, or there will be no place in all of Greece that you will be able to hide from the wrath of Sparta.
I'm sure you will hear exactly what I want you to hear.
That's what I was afraid of. Well,
The Cypress is just glaring at Amadeo through this whole thing. Just
In Cypress's mind, does Amadeo's image slowly morph into that of an old woman, or
beautiful. All right. Well, then, as you guys go to start collecting your belongings and your things, we will end there for tonight. Now, with new companions and a new journey to head toward Thebes to hopefully put an end to the cult of Phobos once and for all. Sweet. Good job, guys. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us on yet another glorious episode of Game of Age of Myth. Oh no. I hadn't done that in a hot minute.
you could see? I know what you were doing. It was Game of Sonder. It's fine. It's all
The
good.
game, yes,
Of
the
Saunders.
game of Saunders. The game of Saunders. But yes, we will look forward to next Tuesday as we get to hear a little more Astrid lore, a little more Amadeo lore, a little bit of walking in the sunshine where nothing could possibly go wrong. So, yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out. We will see you guys, some of you guys, tomorrow night for some vampire things. In fact, I think you'll almost see everybody here except for me and Astrid. Everybody else will be playing some vampires tomorrow.
Yeah, we're just missing 2 people from that.
I know, right? That's wild. And then we will see you guys next Tuesday. Don't forget to check out Top Down Tabletop for more Oretno playing the Druid Rowan over there with DM Shanks. Thanks you for hanging out with us, DM Shanks. On Mondays, and I think your Tales of Zamali? Zawali? I don't remember how it said. Tides!
Zamali.
That's that was the word that I was looking for. Tides of Zamali. Until then, be brave, stay fey. The safe word is mango, and don't forget to get comfortable in bunny spread if you want to. So yeah, we'll see you next time.